Got
I
it.
got
Yeah,
it.
that's it. All right, here we are. Welcome back to Loose Threads. I'm here with our librarian, and
After dark.
I like the library hellion, and Professor Katie will be in just a second. And we're getting comfy and grabbing our mugs of whatever sort of libation. Is it libation in English? Libation?
Bay,
Libation?
I believe.
Libation.
I
Okay.
don't know. I've had a libration prior to this.
Oh, I love your glass. So we have some fun ones to look at today. So just so everybody knows who's new here, we are hunting throughout the week as we're doing our investigation work. We hunt through and find interesting things that we find in the files, and then we come on here and we talk about them and we investigate them. And our hope is that someday we might get a viewer or two that are interested in helping us figure out what some of these things are. And it's been an interesting week. So, do we think Blanche is getting voted in? What do you think?
I mean, did he not get voted in?
Well, they voted it out of committee.
Okay.
So that is where we're at. Out of committee. Okay, so where did you want to start tonight?
I don't know what I think at this point.
Yeah. What? Why are you being so silly? Oh, because I put it on the wrong thing. Okay, so the name of the one, do we want to start with sex game?
Sure.
All right, let's get dirty.
That's when I was like, I don't know.
All right, so sex game. So we saved it, and it looks like it's to Redacted, who's very popular in the files, from Redacted. And it was Monday, 1/4/2010 at 8:36:55 p.m. UTC. And it said, admissibility of a sex game. Hello and Happy New Year. Here's an issue I haven't addressed. CB distribution case arising from multiple reports of uploaded Yahoo photo albums. 4 computers seized from defendant's house. CP-related activity found on all 4.
Okay, CP... Child pornography.
Yes. Child pornography is CP.
Yes.
And so it says there is activity on all 4. Forensics reveal a large compressed file on the root of the C drive of the computer most actively used for the child porn activity. The examiner was able to save and install the file and found it to be a virtual reality game called Hizashi. Oh, I have to Google that. Hizashi no Nakano Real, in which a player uses the mouse to control a virtual hand that molests an animated Asian girl whose age appears to be about 10. The game was accompanied by a detailed walkthrough document telling the steps for navigating the game. This document, like the game itself, is very graphic and detailed. The only local user who has the game loaded is our defendant. Forensics shows local user had gotten to level 4 of the game, which involves significant and sustained affirmative acts against the virtual girl. Admissible? I'd appreciate your thoughts. Holy crap!
You know what this reminds me of?
Holy crap! Okay,
I wonder if this has something to do with Dershowitz.
Really? And tell me why.
Because his deposition, he's very, he's such an asshole. But, when he is called out on, his character or his past, and they're like, haven't you, said that producing child pornography is fine? It's viewing child pornography is not a crime. It's producing it. So playing this game, it feels like this might be a Dershowitz kind of email they intercepted or something. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's a pedophile. That's what I think. I think he's a rapist and a pedophile, and I think he hurt a lot of women and a lot of girls. And he's written pieces on eliminating the age of consent. He represents scum of the earth. I think we can all agree that whatever it is that he says is going to be something nefarious. I'm actually asking InfoClaws about it. Yes, the correct title is what it was written in there. It was created by the Japanese independent studio Musoft. Oh, here I'll put info up so that you can see. Here. All right. It was created. It was a downloadable version was released in 2005, July 6, and a package edition in August 2005. A complete edition followed in August 2006. It was an 18-plus interactive erotic flash game, not conventional narrative video game. The central character is Kanuka Tsutsumi, written, and you see the lettering. The player directly manipulates sexual interactions using the mouse. The developer promoted it as a highly animated interactive experience. Available descriptions and the developer's own support documentation indicated that the game contained explicit sexual acts and scenarios involving coercive or assaultive behavior. Contemporary listings describe the female character as a girl, but I have not found a reliable primary source establishing her canonical age. We should therefore avoid confidently calling her minor. Oh, yeah, the numbers before and after. Oh,
just to get like the context.
Katie, hi. We're talking about here. Let me reshare this one. We're talking about the sex game. Have you seen this yet?
I'm dying to know if Katie can explain this.
This is the sex game.
What?
Oh, you were here for it? Oh, I said, holy shit, this is a hell of a find. Okay, so I'll give you the cliff notes of it. Basically, I believe that this is someone in the DOJ or FBI talking to somebody else in the DOJ or FBI saying, hey, in our defendant's hard drive, we found this virtual reality game where you can take you're a person that's molesting a minor. And the person who had this game on here got all the way up to level 4, which is really inappropriate. Is this admissible? What are your thoughts?
What is this doing in here? Yeah,
right?
I mean, clearly like
2010.
Yeah, because admissibility. I mean, these are like prosecutors talking. What's our EFTA on this guy?
EFTA 000-30972. I'm going to pull it up over here. Let's pull it up. We're going to, hold on. Hold tight. I'm going to go over here to my other computer. Where's my Epstein?
Yeah, I mean, you have to wonder, how did this get in here? It doesn't.
We're gonna go EFTA 000-30972.
I wonder, because I'm looking around the numbers.
There it is.
If it's like a G, like a Ghislaine Maxwell defense.
Let's see, what number here? United States versus Jeffrey Epstein investigations. That looks like a CV of some sort, maybe.
Yeah, somebody's CV
is that
recorded.
Automatically. I am currently on trial for the Honorable Ronnie Abrams. I will be checking my email at the end of trial each day. If you need immediate assistance in connection with the United States versus Epstein 19 CR 490 RMB, please contact a USA at Bup-a-da-Buh. For all other matters, please contact a USA yada 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 at yada yada. Thank you. So let's go back forward and look at the document after. Let's see. This is Bobby C. Sternheim. This is 2021. We've jumped.
Let me look that person up.
That's got to be a defense.
Attorney.
attorney because they give us the names of defense counsel, but not the names of people working in U.S. Attorney's Office or FBI. Like, so if you work for the government, your name is protected.
Okay, so the government omnibus opposition to Maxwell defense motion, final unredacted. And of course, they redacted it. Hey, blank. In case you're interested, attached is the final version of our brief that was filed. Please note that this is filed under the seal, and the public version will have a bunch of redactions, so please keep it in your system and do not share it outside the office. Did it come with it?
I mean, it feels like this.
Actually, Bobby C. Sternum defended. He's a New York-based criminal defense attorney. And he represented Tartleone, the cellmate.
Oh, interesting.
And Ghislaine Maxwell.
Wait, what? The same lawyer represented the cellmate and Maxwell?
Let me make sure that this is...
That's interesting.
That's interesting in and of itself.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a woman. She became the defense. So she was appointed by a federal judge to represent Nicholas Tartleone. And then a year later, she became lead defense counsel for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Something seems like, doesn't that feel like a conflict of some sort, or am I wrong? Am I being over?
I mean,
this is from a UK paper or website, and it says the appointments were not simultaneous in purpose or scope, and there is no evidence suggesting coordination between the two matters.
Really?
That's still weird.
When confronted, she said, quote, "I am a special attorney in the case."
Yeah, I absolutely.
I would agree with that.
Well, now we gotta...
Oh, did you know that Bobby Sternum represented Bin Laden?
What?
Oh! Nuh-uh!
I mean...
Wow!
We're gonna need to do some more. This is the first, like...
Holy crap!
That's wild.
Bin Laden.
Epstein data has 1,016 results for Sternheim.
Okay, I can let you know. I guess mid-afternoon. Hold on, I found something interesting. Do you know when the message for blank was left? My understanding is that our team connected with someone in that office late last week, and they agreed to stand down depending on the end of our investigation. Blank is our this week, and I have Epstein conference before Behrman at this time. This is in 2019. Who is Epstein? Oh, right. I'm not sure, Ari, the message, but want to talk forfeiture and RICO. Okay, I can let you know when we wrap up. My guess is early mid-afternoon. Interesting. Okay, so now we have to look up the name of some sort. 2019, Asset Forfeiture USA from New Mexico reached out to EO USA about seizing Epstein's property from New Mexico. I advise EO USA that SDNY is handling this case and that things need to be coordinated with your office. They were going to seize it. Oh my gosh.
And they did not.
And they didn't. Here are the warrants. What happened? What stopped?
I'm looking a little bit more. Oh, guess where she's from, and when she was born.
Where?
Was born in 1953 in Bronx, New York, United States.
Oh my God, is she a sea gator?
No.
I don't know.
Oh my God, is she a sea gator?
Seagate is Brooklyn.
Oh, that's Brooklyn. Okay.
Okay.
My bad.
See, thank you, Katie. I'm like, Bronx,
Thank God this is why we need this.
New York.
Wow.
Sorry, unfortunately, when you live in Jersey, you also know things about New York. So, for
So I am fascinated to see if this game comes up for any others, because it's like this is the only email, but like what did people do? And was this Maxwell's or was this Epstein stuff in
this
2010?
feels like a mistake to me. I mean, maybe it's not, but it smells like a mistake to me.
Okay.
Wait, so what's the name of this game?
Hisashi no Nakano. We can do a search. Go to Epstein data. We'll go right in here into my little spot right there and see. That's the only place it comes up.
You know how I found this? Because I wish I would save my search terms, but I'm not that good. I know it was the game, though, because I think something came up in another thing where it was like the game. And I was like, well,
there's another spelling I'm going to try too.
Because how else would you find this?
Right. Nope,
There's
still
no
the
names.
only thing. Nothing. So maybe it is, but it's still interesting. There's nothing that's next to the one next to it. Redacted. I'd appreciate your thoughts. Computers, I'm looking at some of the meta.
Yeah, and when I Google sex game, that's the only thing that comes up.
Yeah, I was just
and that's what InfoClause says, that it seems out of place too.
I'm looking for other emails on that date.
Okay, so you're looking for 2010?
Ooh.
Yeah, January.
Okay, I just looked up level 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dear Jeffrey. Okay, this is 2018. My Kobito master invited me to stay for level 4. Okay, that's just
Oh.
definitely has to do
Okay.
with like jujitsu, I think. Because it's
Or
like
something.
Brazil and like students, and it's not virtual.
So I have it looking for emails that from here 1/4/2019.
But it did say Kobito master, so I was like,
And it's by Moosoft. You know what might be interesting to look up is if there were any investments. Were there any Epstein related investments in Moosoft?
Well, but here's something. You know, as far as we know, there is no open FBI investigation into Epstein or Maxwell in 2010.
yeah.
So do you think it's an oops by somebody?
Well, okay. Counterpoint though from today and Dr. RSA.
Oh,
he was constantly vouching for why he's still like not a threat. And I feel like what I was like, some articles that were shared were like, there were still like, oh, there were still kind of like ongoing threats of like them reopening.
But wasn't he getting inside intel? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he getting intel from like Palm Beach, from either like the Palm Beach PD or the state's attorney's office? Because, you know, Epstein ultimately, you know, pled guilty and was registered as a sex offender for his state level charges, not federal charges. I mean, so we don't know actually if this is like FBI. We have no idea who the sender of any of this is. But because it's DOJ production, and the only state level files that we have are the ones that were already publicly released or turned over to the FBI. Like,
this feels like a boo-boo.
Yeah, this feels like.
But isn't it interesting? It just find it coincidental But I guess you're working sex crimes. You're working sex crimes.
But like, how would it get in? You know, is it maybe
Yeah, why would it be in that particular sequence?
Mm-hmm.
like how, because you know, they talked about the fact, you know, in all of the big defenses by Blanche and other DOJ spokespeople, right, as to why right, like why are there still like 2 million documents that haven't been turned over. One of the things that has been mentioned is like, oh, well, we were searching for, you know, everybody named Epstein, or we were searching for Epstein, and there are some things that weren't relevant, right? Like they didn't actually, it's late enough that I'm blanking on the actual legal term for this, right? But like they didn't need to be produced because they came up as results, but it was like, you know, a different Jeffrey Epstein or...
Yeah, it was irrelevant.
Right, it was irrelevant.
Okay.
I did find a Jeff Epstein today that was so disappointing because he was like CFO of Oracle.
I know, that guy really throws you for a loop.
Oh, there's also another one that's like a dentist, and he's like local to the Palm Coast or whatever as well. So I would have changed my name. You know, just like if I was named Ted Bundy, I would have changed it. Or, you know, there's just some things, unless you're going to exploit it in some way. But I can't imagine there's any positive way to exploit the name Jeff Epstein.
But there's seemingly no Epstein here, right? Like, unless it's one of the, you know, the sender or the recipient of the email. Like, how did this wander into the Epstein files?
Except that it has to do with like molesting
kids,
right?
Children,
allegedly.
I was kind of hoping that it would be like, because my initial thing was maybe this is somehow mixed up in Dershowitz.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Because you know what, he really likes to argue that where's the line? Like, can you make it? But you can't make it, but you can watch it. But this is like virtual. So is this even, I mean, like that feels like something he would say. Is this admissible? You know, something someone would ask him.
The Supreme Court's going to end up having to hear a case like that. And I think that Elon started that process with his case in Minnesota, that he tried to sue Minnesota to allow him to continue to be able to let Grok produce child pornography and whatnot. And it was basically thrown out, but there's no saying what the next step is. It's obvious that's what he's appealing to, right? Okay, so this is interesting. I pulled up because we're still hunting for our little guy. I wanted to show you what just popped up here. That's quite interesting. And it says, first of all, everyone's redacted, but this is September 2nd, 2008. What was happening with his case then? What do you know? What do we remember?
He's already settled, like they've already signed the NPA.
Okay. So
didn't they do that in July, Katie? 2000?
I need to make a damn timeline.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
We have that.
I'm situating myself because I was still obsessed with this sex game. Okay.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I can understand why.
It's September 2007 that they signed the non-prosecution agreement, and then it is like beginning of July, last day of June, very beginning of July 2008, that dude shows up in Florida and pleads guilty and goes to jail.
Okay.
But didn't they like change it all kinds of ways?
There were no more amendments to the non-prosecution agreement after Epstein actually entered his guilty plea. All of those came before that.
Really?
So this comes up.
This is his work release was a totally separate thing that had nothing to do with the non-prosecution agreement.
Okay.
Be related.
Okay, so Okay, that's what's really confusing, because like whatever he got in that, but that's why it's so like the money crime of it all is what I think is the most like
Egregious?
like what they're trying to hide the most.
Yeah, the RICO stuff feels like, yes, there is something to be said about the fact that could they be using some of the sexual things to hide the RICO things. And of course, yes, we definitely know that they hide each other in different ways, I think. So this one says, please make sure that you are sitting down when you read this under the subject line. They should be writing for social media. Boy, that made me click on something. I spoke with blank J period this morning, and it looks like Roy has come into the picture again as a voice of reason. File 080902, Lefkowitz letter to blank. Do you want copies of the victim notification letters as they go out? Then the response is, something is up. No, I don't want copies of the letters. Thanks.
Isn't that going to be Lefkowitz to like Maine Justice or something?
Or someone else in the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Mm-hmm.
Like Acosta.
Mm-hmm. Roy Black?
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I thought. So let's find out. Where's my little Sturgeon Flurgen? Let's see.
You know, the thing I've really tried to understand, and I don't think I'm that stupid because I think that most people in money or economics don't really actually understand the complete picture of whatever they're doing, but it's like, I know how to do this crime. But like the bankruptcy scam, I don't understand the
one with
scam.
the assassin.
The one where it was like Epstein and was it Towers that were like, they knew the judges in the bankruptcy court and they were like purchasing people's bankruptcy, but they didn't really have any money. They were just kind of like, I don't know. See, that's where I lose the thread, because I'm like, how do you, but they're collecting interest on something that doesn't really exist. So it's, I don't know.
Like they're buying the settlement agreement. Like, it makes me think
it's kind of like how the Rothstein thing. I think that's why he knew how to go after Rothstein that way, because he's like, well, we know they're going to get this lump, or like you could purchase a portion of this settlement and like I don't understand. It's just all seems so illegal. I don't understand how it's legal.
It does. Explain what Rothstein thing a little bit for me. More details.
So basically, when Bradley Edwards, as I understand it, was representing several victims, Epstein gets tipped off that he's got a Ponzi scheme like within this law firm, and they're selling they're letting people invest in these girls' settlements or something. So he's saying that the reason they're coming after him for money is not because the girls' stories are credible, but because they know how much money they can make off of it, and they're already like creating a whole hedge fund trust, whatever.
So it's a little bit like buying the tariff debt. So so if the government owes, if the government let's say owed Costco $12 million, I could offer Costco, here, I'm going to give you $5 million cash, and I'll go and chase the money if you'll just let me sign it over, and then I go invest the time to get the 12 million. Is that?
That's kind of how I understand it. Or like the most basic thing is like, my dad has an old shitty bike.
Okay.
And I know somebody wants that bike, but he doesn't want to have to mess with selling the bike. So he's just going to like let me buy it really cheap. And then I have the legal, like I can go after, I can get a lot more money for that. But if nobody buys the bike, then that's when it all falls apart. I don't know. Katie,
No, I have to admit that I think there is a lot that's happening financially that we need to understand in order to be able to track this. This was also like how Leon Black made his money. Like, this is how he made his money before Apollo. This is how Apollo made its money. This is what Towers was doing. Like, this was the name of the game, like vulture funds, buying up debt, corporate rating kind of stuff that these guys were doing in the 80s and 90s especially. We do need to understand it. Like, I think that that's
kind of like that's the only part where I've gotten to the admission that maybe I have to give Epstein and some of these dumbasses some credit, because I'm like, I can't even sit with it long enough to be like, okay, this is so what?
Okay, so I gave the document to info clause and explained that we're trying to investigate like what was going on in that period, and he said that on June 30th, 2008, Epstein pled guilty in Florida, in the Florida State Court, to soliciting prostitution and procuring a person under the age of 18 for prostitution. He received the 18-month county jail sentence and was required to register as a sex offender. By September 2nd, Epstein was incarcerated at the Palm Beach County Stockade. His unusually permissive work release arrangements developed during this time. Federal prosecutors had previously agreed not to prosecute Epstein federally. The agreement also protected unnamed potential co-conspirator. We know who they are. Epstein's lawyers were disputing the language prosecutors planned to send to approximately 32 identified victims. The victims had not been told about the non-prosecution agreement while it was being negotiated. And it said, it was, I love info clause. The prosecutor redacting, it says, your document, EFTA 00215587, records a prosecutor reacting to a September 2nd letter from Epstein attorney Jay Lefkowitz.
Yeah, the letter is to Villafania. I found another document that shows
fantastic. It said Roy Black.
So here's what doesn't make sense and why it makes like the whole thing fall apart for me. Is nobody, like, Jeffrey Epstein is not going to protect Leslie Groff and, like, you know, his female assistants. The government isn't like making some sweetheart deal to protect like 5, you know, like best friend. You know, it's not about, to me, it's like, what are the higher stakes here are whatever they're covering up spreads so far and wide, and it makes more sense that it's like JP Morgan acquires Bear Stearns, and it's like so many people are implicated in different financial crimes that they have to kind of like slap him somehow.
I think that, here's my opinion.
Okay.
I think he asked for immunity so they wouldn't roll over onto him.
I mean, yeah.
That's why I think he did it. I think it was self-serving, because I think he knew that if he just took care of himself in his agreement, I think he knew that they were going to get.
But I think there's one step further for that, though. I think he was so, and I hate to give him credit. You know, this pains me deeply.
He was a smart man. He was
He
just
was
a
good at
sociopath.
making it so complicated, it's so convoluted that they don't even think they could fucking sort it out, and it would just be a giant mess. So it's not like they wouldn't just like off him immediately, you know, if they thought that that would just. I think it was like a banking collapse kind of situation that nobody could like figure out. And I think that's how he weaseled, honestly, his way in different things, was his capacity to brazen his way in and kind of make shit happen. And I don't even know, like,
well, there is something
it's kind of annoying that he did that. I hate that he
or
did
at
that.
least he knows how to manipulate the people to make shit happen, maybe.
I think it's like a complex version of all that. But what he, like, the thing that sucks is that when the way he was able to do that was, I think, why he just did everything else he did. Because it was kind of like the thrill of doing it.
That's how he got his dopamine. Absolutely.
Like flying a 15-year-old on a plane, getting the visa and doing all of that, and like right in front of, like, you know, you couldn't do that without all the money you had. But like, why even have all of that if you're not going to do something kind of really subversive that nobody will really be able to touch you for? That's what's sick. I think that was the whole thing for him.
Again, I think that when you think about the people that he asked, the co-conspirators were all people who had their fingers in his pudding pie.
Yeah, I
think those were the people that
I think he was able to,
that could hurt him the most.
The way he was, like, whatever he figured out that people wanted or that knew was going to be
their language of influence. It's the language of influence, and be able to figure that. But if you think about it, all of those co-conspirators are also well taken care of in his will.
And I mean, that's the thing that, like, really haunts me, is that, yes, there are sexual predators every strata. There's, you know, there's different iterations
even
of it.
Ducks rape.
But the fact that we, like, everything that, like, is about this has to do with hoarding and, like, exploiting vast amounts of, like, capital and resource, or, like, hiding it, or, like, you know. And unless you address that, it doesn't matter if you're addressing, like,
the little things. Yeah,
like sexual, like, assault training at where, you know, all that stuff, or like going after little guys, you know, or weird uncles or whoever, you know. That's not going to address a person who sets up an entire global structure of how to do this on this scale.
Well, I think, you know, my theory has been that I think Epstein was a fixer, and I think he was an information broker. And I think he also was a sociopath and was a pedophile. You know, on top of all those things. And I think being a fixer, both a fixer, and because I think that's what he did for I'm having a brain fart. I want to say Black, but that's not Roy Black. He was just interviewed and had to get deposed again. I'm having a brain cloud. Help me.
Leon Black.
Leon Black. Leon Black. So I think he was like, he specifically went in to fix stuff for Leon. Leon had himself a hot potted mess of his finances.
Yeah, he had big tax mess.
Oh, yeah,
like the way a trust was set up, he was going to be liable for millions or even billions.
Well, yeah, very bad, and possibly crimes, apparently, because of the
Yeah.
audit. They found other stuff.
Yeah.
So, but
And
I
the
think
tax situation, yeah.
But
I
that's,
think that
you know who else came into the fixer situation? Noam Chomsky. I found some new Noam Chomsky shit. And
what'd you find? Do tell.
just like their trust and their marital prenuptial
Yeah.
thing and like fixing, you know, it was like a big mess. And
Mhm.
every single person, when you really dig down, it's him helping them sort out their trust and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
was
all
sort of their
sorted.
therapist in so many ways. Their sex therapist.
Yeah, because he's so like, I know what to do. Even though I think a lot of times he probably messed it up worse than it was, but just having someone come in and be like, with their bad spelling and their, if they have connections and they like,
I think some of that's on purpose.
I don't think it's on purpose.
You
When
really think he's just a bad speller like me?
Yeah, and I do think. Yeah, I mean, look at
he's a bad
the
kid,
way
like
he filled out
writer.
that Bear Stearns employment form
Oh, that's fair.
in the 70s. It's a mess. He has terrible handwriting.
Uh-huh.
He can't spell. I think it's real.
You think it's real?
I mean, I think that because it's also clear, you can tell when he puts in a little more effort and it's a little bit better, but it's still not great, right?
No.
Like when he's trying to write, you know, Mohammed bin Salman, when he's trying to write the MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he still can't fucking do it.
Right. That's why we have to
when
do
he goes into the
searches
Virgin
between
Islands for his like tax thing and he's like giving, oh my gosh, that sent me, because he's like going in and selling, like after he's been convicted and everything, he's going to try to get his tax relief again, and he's just trying to explain, and he's like gives this speech about cancer.
I know.
I
know.
Cancer, you know, it's just a thing, you know, it's
not a
just
big
like-
deal. It's just cancer. Fuck it.
Well, but you know, another person who had a situation that it seemed like for a hot minute Epstein was going to be the one to fix was Bill Gates.
Uh-huh.
Right? And like, we don't know enough about it. Oversight didn't seem to think it was worth asking.
I
Bill
found a
Gates.
little Bill Gates, like, because you know, you don't see Bill Gates actually. I haven't seen him, but this one was like Bill Gates wasn't sent, but it was like the search term was Endeavor, and it was like him and like they were doing something in 2013,
Right.
and I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, in May 2013, Boris is emailing, you know, Boris Nikolic, who, you know, was working for Gates and is the intermediary in a lot of the communications and kind of the stand-in for Gates, the Gates whisperer for Epstein, says, you know, he being Bill Gates feels that 100 million per year is fair for the first 4 years. And then he says, you know, he is sensitive as he considers you the only person who can help him. I agree. He's a really nice guy and needs your help.
Wild.
Like, what? With what? With what? Like, what is Epstein doing that is worth $100 million a year to Bill Gates? Like,
Whatever
even
it
for Bill
is,
Gates, that's a
I
lot of
need to
money.
do that job.
No, we need to figure out what the fuck this is and be like, this is how we never let this happen.
We never do this again.
Because,
Okay.
like, this is not blackmail. This is
No.
not blackmail. This is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and again, then we come back to the information broker thing that we know is occurring because there is lots of information exchanging going on in very nuanced ways. And I think those are what help provide him with what he has and what he did. Now, I have to pull us and do a weave because you shared this interesting document today in our feed.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I gotta figure out what this is.
I want to hear Katie's thoughts.
Katie, Talk
what
to
is-
us about the confidential for attorneys' eyes only. Don't copy. I shared the link in our chat for those that are interested. Okay, redacted. That my mom lied about Mr. Glickman all the time. She lied about work trips, about Michigan, and about Clearwater. Now he is dead, and I'm being sent to live with her friend, back and forth. For how long?
Is that it?
No. I sent the rest of, like, that was a whole
List of things. Here we go. Here's another. My mom lied.
There's one about Rockefeller. I'm a Rockefeller.
Here it is.
How am I on this airplane?
Okay. Went to a party at this huge house and meet a man named Mr. Robert and his pretty wife, Jill. Same exact British lady from Clearwater was there. She talked to me all night. She wants me to come to her house in Florida so I can learn new things, to get away from Mary. Then we go back to that page. There were clipping moments of humor, compassion, and warmth, but now I think I may be clipping lost. Is this normal? This feels like a transcript from a
like
journal.
A diary.
Yeah.
Clipping memory. What is that stuff? What is that feeling? No one can prepare you for this shit. I'm so fucking lost. Why did Mr. Colgan agree to this? Jeffy treats me like I'm special property, and when I need Ghislaine, she is working, and Mary is just as batshit crazy as my mom. Joe Gibbs is so nice, but Dan Snyder is a pig. Redskin Hoggett. The other girls, well, some are nice, but 3 I hate. Alice in fucking Wonderland for them. Thank God my parents picked me up. For being a Rockefeller, that plane Mr. Dana had me on was scary. Both he and Larry Summers are fucking disgusting. I hope no relation to Tracy. I guess it's a royal thing. Gross. Andrew is like his brother in this way. Blank should not brag because that was yucky. Does this lady know you can't have dignity if you've been with him? I know I have none. Only Skittles. I think I remember this one. I'm very sorry, little one. What are these bets and why do I have to take photos? I am lost. Mr. Modi, Mr. Robert, Mr. Sant, Mr. Ludwig, Mr. Chichi, Mr. Mora, Mr. Goodlatte, Mr. Adkins are not who they say. Run, run, run. Walk down Madison Avenue to 71st Street. My mother has lost her fucking mind, even though Ghislaine said it was best to take me home because Mr. Black is so important for some reason over my health. There is going to be hell to pay. I ruined their trip, and I am dramatic when that fat fuck bit me. He threw me on the floor, blood all over Jeffrey's carpet, and I'm the issue? Who the fuck bites someone? Sick. No one is that important, and Leon can go fuck himself. I hate New York. Page with a poem entitled Stopped Dead. Leon Black. Underline words in the poem. Birth, cry. Fatso millionaire. It's violent. Goddamn baby screaming. There's always a bloody baby. Your 7 chins still as a ham. Clipping. Protected from the little girl lost. Me. I'm so sorry I keep failing. I no longer have 365. I have none. It goes to anyone but me, and I am tired. People you think are good are bad, like the CEOs who pretend.
This reminds me of somebody when she says something about old men. Is that Virginia?
I think this is the one, the journal with the baby that died or disappeared.
Yeah, here I just put the link in our live stream, like in our signal.
In the Lime stream?
In the Loose Threads chat.
That one?
Not on here, but on our regular.
Oh, on our regular. So let's pull that up. Boom.
So
there it is.
I will mention that.
Yeah.
So this is an exhibit.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you because I remember this one too.
I will mention that a judge has determined pretty recently that some of this is fabricated. So,
and what are our thoughts on that?
Monogram images that I think maybe are not included in the exhibit version here.
Let's see.
Or I guess, yeah, actually some of it is like on
page.
Let's see.
Here it is.
14.
There it is. Page 14. You can see there. It says, I heard the heartbeat even when she put her hands over my ears. Aren't pictures enough for them? Torture. Should I deeply miss them? Have these all been murders? Does this make me a killer? Which to me implies abortion, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, this is a 20-week ultrasound.
And Christy.
Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, if this is her name that should have been redacted, if this is actually her name, this is someone who is not, publicly identified.
Known. Okay.
Yeah.
There are flights of horror, whether it's with Jeffrey, Mr. Leonis, Mr. Case, Mr. Schneider, Mr. Gregory's, Mr. Colgan, or one being borrowed by a seemingly good federal worker or even rented. It's all horror, and nothing is as it seems. I'm so confused by everything, and people you expect to be good, like even old senators like George Mitchell, you would think would be good like a grandpa, are bad. Mr. Kimsey is deranged. The answer is C, crazy. It all is. So I'm curious, what parts do they think are faked or they ruled aren't accurate?
I need to go back and look.
Wow, that's a teeny little fetus there.
But I think at least some of the ultrasound images
maybe
had been altered, the dates changed, right, to make them appear as if they were from earlier than they in fact were, right? That they're from later pregnancies and that they were altered, which doesn't lend a lot to the credibility of this document, unfortunately. But we don't know what's true, what's not.
Well, I will say this came up because the custom border protection document you sent me.
Yeah.
I was just saw a search term and it was Jeffrey, and then there was a space and Mr. So I was doing a Jeffrey space Mr. search, and that weird. And it wasn't with all the stuff. It was just how you read it, where it was just pulled out just the writing from it, and I was I don't know what this is.
But now we know that's the translation to this.
Yeah.
Look, Alan shows up again. I love the way she spells it, Dishowitz. That's fantastic. And Mr. Islam, who do we think Mr. Islam is? Do we think that's
I mean, it could be anybody, because especially if this was from a younger person, and who knows their background too. I think they're Ghislaine is the most Islamophobic, anti-Arab. Her mom, I mean, the amount of hating poor people and hating other ethnicities is
it's pretty bad.
It's pretty upsetting. Yeah, that was a really weird one that
you found. That was a weird one.
What was the other weird one? that I pulled up.
Let's see. Oh, I found an interesting one real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I did not know about this particular case. Hold on, let me pull the screen. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. This one. I didn't know about this particular case where Epstein and Brunel suing each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I knew about Brunel suing Epstein, but not.
Well, I think it was Brunel, but then he filed for an appeal.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah, because he like ruined Jean-Luc's business.
Yes, there it is. On January 2015, Brunel and his modeling agency MC2 sued Epstein for damages that resulted from his notoriety and bad publicity generated from the criminal charges. It wasn't long after that Johnny Boy also ended up having a misfortune, correct?
I mean, what year did he die?
Well, what year did he get arrested? Brunel arrest date.
I feel like it's 2016, maybe? Or no, it's later than that, isn't it?
No, Brunel doesn't get arrested until after Epstein dies.
Really?
Yeah.
He was arrested in 2020, December 16th, so about a year later.
Oh, wow.
Before he was going again. And he was placed under investigation, detained on the 18th. And when did he die? He died on 2022. So he stayed in jail for a minute. February 2022. And this appeal, what was interesting about this appeal, opinion filed 2019, that it says something about him getting arrested, I thought. Brunel and MC2 attempted to serve Epstein at his residence in New York, and he moved to quash the service. The trial court ordered Brunel and MC2 to serve Epstein within 120 days. He lives on a private island. Wham, 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 wham. All the things. So, yes. Trying to appeal. I guess he must have won, is my guess.
I have no idea.
We should track that. Can I also just say that, like, it is effing ridiculous. I mean, obviously it's ridiculous that Brunel sued Epstein in this way.
Yeah, considering
like, Jean-Luc Brunel had a 60 Minutes piece that aired about him in 1988, accusing him of, like, coercing models into sex and sexually assaulting women. Diane Sawyer, 1988. This guy is on TV being like, he's
okay, think of how much money they fucking waste in court.
I know.
You know what is interesting? I kind of saw it as a potential money laundering situation.
Like,
what if he got awarded a buku amount of bucks that he can then take and...
I mean, maybe the government is like, let these rich assholes keep suing each other. We'll keep taking their money. That's how we're paying for stuff.
I mean,
and then I think that's just them pocketing money. I don't know. We really need to get to the bottom of money, though. I think we can.
The money is where the real information.
The money
is
the big story.
I think yes. I think there's more there.
I've always thought that.
I'll tell you something crazy, and that in a way is like the big question at the center of all of this that no one has an answer to is, how did this guy make his fucking money? Like,
Right.
actually, nobody knows the answer to that. There is no actual account of where his initial wealth came from, how he grew it. Like, you know, the amount of money that even Leon Black was paying him is like just a fraction of his operating costs, let alone.
But people pretend like they've answered that, though. Like, you'll read like the mysterious blah 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 or whatever, and it's like it's kind of like the whiff of an answer, like you know.
But they haven't.
They all say they all
No,
sort of gel
I
over
want
it with the
paper.
it's because
I
of Wexner. If it was because of
Yeah,
so-and-so.
no. That says no. That's
Right.
that's not an answer.
Likewise, no one. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm frozen on here for myself. Okay. Likewise, no one has explained how Mark Epstein, during the same period when Jeffrey Epstein makes his money, how does Mark Epstein?
And Mark's all over shit. The more you dig, the more Mark's name pops up all over the place. Like, they're not, like, he's part of these like, he's in these companies. He's part of this. I mean,
yeah, I mean, Mark Epstein came from the same broke ass neighborhood and the same broke ass family as Jeffrey Epstein. He's an artist, right? He's a visual arts major.
Silk screen. He made his fortune in silk screen.
Right.
Exactly.
The fact that suddenly he is in real estate and, you know, buying buildings from Les Wexner. You know, real estate, notoriously one of the best ways to launder some money.
Oh yeah.
Cash purchases. I am of the opinion that Epstein came in to help Wexner move a whole bunch of money around, right? I think I've maybe also mentioned to you guys that I think that entire New Albany housing development, Wexner paid cash.
Wow.
You know,
all of that.
I did Wexner as a whole, like, should be way more of a thing. And there's plenty of big articles. His whole empire was because his aunt lent him like $5,000.
Okay, I have done an insane amount of reading on the development of the Limited, and I do think that at least up through like the late 70s, early to mid 80s, Wexner was making his money because he was actually an excellent businessman.
Well, an excellent, like, we can make this shit in China.
Yes, before he even started doing that, or like before he, I mean,
yeah, he was the entrepreneur. Like, he was the OG. Like, I'm building factories in other countries, and we're gonna like make this shit move.
Yeah, and I think it looks like he was maybe a little bit mobbed up also with some of his right,
because his big line of brilliance was, if you own everything from the farm that grows the cotton to the store that distributes it and everything in between.
Yes, but that wasn't until the late 70s. Like, he was already.
Oh, he was already mob-tied?
He was already mob-tied, I think. Well, he does start this, like, the original APAC, pretty much, right? Like, the study group.
Did he?
No.
Oh my God, you guys teach me so much stuff!
No, I mean, it's very complicated. I will say.
We need more fucking charts.
Because he wasn't raised very religious, but he became like, I missed out on this, and I'm like really pro, like, want to dig into my Jewish heritage and Judaism, and
that's the story he told. But he was religious growing up. Like, I found
that's weird, because the story I was reading, he is like,
no,
you know,
he was like winning, essay contests about his love for Israel, like when he was 13 or something. I mean, I can find this stuff for you. He did supposedly have a moment on a mountain where he was like, I'm going to start giving a bunch of my money to charity. But then
Aspen, I believe it in the 1985 article I read, it was Aspen.
Yeah, but then that does coincide with when he starts visiting Israel frequently, when he starts having closed door meetings with Shamir, the prime minister of Israel, when he starts taking long walks with the mayor of Jerusalem, and when he becomes one of the biggest fundraisers in the United States.
Well, the study group was
for Israel. Although the study group was later, a little bit later.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, study group was very early 90s.
Okay.
Like 90, 91. And the study
No, it has to be, I mean, because the article I read from 85, I believe they're talking about, nope.
Study group didn't exist then. Study group met for the first time as part of a fundraising campaign for the Soviet Jews who were emigrating to Israel, who were leaving the USSR. But he was involved with other, like, he had already, I think, started the Wexner Heritage Foundation by then. Like in 85 is when he starts his own big philanthropic things. But then study group is like separate.
Maybe I had it backwards. Like it became, because is that what like Spielberg?
That's study group. Yeah.
Okay.
Spielberg later joined the study group.
Okay.
But that was like an early 90s thing of like, it's also known as the mega group because they were like the mega donors. And it was like a group of top donors. But Wexner, you can read these really interesting articles from that period where like Wexner is holding events in his home and he like gets up and like, I'm going to donate $10 million. And he's like leading the charge. Trying
you know what? I have never looked at the overlap. Is there an overlap between Wexner and Armand Hammer?
There is overlap, but they were sort of doing parallel things. I don't think they were doing a lot together. The way that Wexner and Robert Maxwell were sort of doing parallel things around this time. But what's interesting is one of the things that Wexner starts up in 87, the same Epstein.
I'm going to die.
Oh no. Don't die.
Don't die.
Let's get plugged. I was like, I got 35%. That's plenty. Go ahead.
Right.
Oh no.
Stay with us, Heather.
I've never seen
You can do it. You can do it.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So go on.
Well, okay. So the same year Epstein begins working for Maxwell is when when Wexner starts up, this program called I want to get the name right. If it's the Harvard, it's the program he runs out of the Harvard Kennedy School. Hold on. I believe it's called the Wexner Israel Fellowship.
Okay.
And one of the things, the Wexner Israel Fellowship is a pretty interesting fellowship. It is for officials from the Israeli government to come to the United States and do a year at the Harvard Kennedy School. It pays for them to do a year at Harvard Kennedy School. And the idea is that because of the history of Israel, they're lacking leadership sort of at the civil and political level, right? Because the leaders of Israel at that time were coming, almost exclusively out of the military. Right? And so there was a sense that there was a kind of lacking civic culture, civilian leadership population.
Wow.
And so they start bringing people over. And at some point I went and made a chart, made a spreadsheet, which I'm loath to do. So, there's gotta be something meaty there if I make a fucking spreadsheet. So I make a spreadsheet of like who are the first, 5 to 10 years of the Wexner Israel Fellows, because they had a website and you could go and look up the names of who all the people were and then go find their bios, and it was pretty easy information to find. And pretty quickly it became apparent that every year there was at least one person coming over, despite the fact that the entire stated goal of this program was like, we're leaning too heavily on our, military for leadership. There was always somebody coming over who was like, he was the first pilot to fly F-16s for Israel, or, like it's
Right.
There were people who were veterans of like high-ranking members of the Israeli Air Force, especially, often members of the, Israeli Air Force, a lot of pilots, a whole lot of pilots, but people who had previously worked in roles cooperating with the U.S. military, had done training in the U.S. already before, right? So people who are plugged into like military training and intelligence sharing.
And we're back to, is he a spy again?
The U.S. and Israel. I know, I didn't mean to take us there so quickly. But, the Kennedy School itself has a sort of long and somewhat public history of, a relationship with the CIA and U.S. intelligence agencies. And it seemed to me plausible, that one of the things this Wexner Israel Fellowship was doing was creating cover for Israeli officials to come and work, not as spies, but in, work with the US, right? Also to be trained, also to do what Wexner said the program was doing. But also, it's like the chief of staff, or the guy who becomes, like, basically, as soon as he's done with his Wexner Israel Fellowship, he becomes the chief of staff for Shimon Peres, and then is one of the main players in the Oslo Accords. Right? This is a crucial moment in sort of the history of the Middle East peace process, what we call the Middle East peace process. Also the first Gulf War, but the Middle East peace process. So like, guy comes over, spends a year at Harvard, he's a Wexner Israel Fellowship guy with money that Epstein is helping control, right, in these charities.
Wow.
He goes back, he becomes chief of staff and a key player, chief of staff to Shimon Peres, key player in the peace process. And then, 20 years later, someone else who was a key member of that process behind the scenes refers to himself as Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, and they're working together, Terry Rod Larson. Again, this is like, maybe, these are small worlds, this is incidental stuff, but I'm really interested in the timing of when Epstein comes to work for Wexner coincide with Wexner having just acquired a bunch of real estate. And we can also include Epstein being involved in this purchase of the 71st Street townhouse, right? Wexner buys multiple houses in New York that he never lives in. As we've talked about, one of those gets sold to the German government, the newly reunified German government, to their consulate house, the residence for their consul. He's buying up a bunch of property, a bunch. The New Albany land is like, it's a bunch of property. He's starting up this program with Israel. Wexner, who had not been a philanthropically oriented or minded kind of guy.
Well, we know the best way to launder money is through charity.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all doing it. we watch them do it all the time.
But I think Wexner was also, he's also he's a diehard supporter of Israel, in fact, and still is, and like recently severed his decades-long relationship with Harvard over what he perceived to be an inadequate response to the October 7th attacks. So I think like ideologically he's there. He's also good friends with Shimon Peres and other guys.
And some of the other crew.
Yeah.
Well, we've been on for an hour and a half.
And I know I'm ranting about
and I'm exhausted. I started recording at started seeing patients at 10 and haven't stopped since. And we recorded several podcasts today. So I'm going to call it short for tonight.
It's time. Don't worry, Patty. I can just keep doing this next time. Like you hit pause now.
And then we'll just restart.
And then you hit play again, and I'll be like mid-sentence. Like,
okay,
and then Wexner.
Yeah. I think I'm going to work on making some charts this week that we can share to help explain some of this. Because I think that would be good. Because I think charts matter. I added them in the couple of articles that I've been working on. And I think it helps with the flow a little bit.
Infographics. I am here for them.
All right. I will see you soon. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Get some sleep.
Yeah.